So makikita mo yung support nila sa'yo, makikita mo na the government really gives us opportunity to really succeed in this land. So it's just a matter of really applying and being bold to really ask for them. Moving to Canada is still worth it kasi it gives you the quality of life that you want. It gives you the education and ano pa ba, yung comfort that you want for your family. If you're able to find a really good job, the economic benefits of finding a good job here is really worth it kasi they really pay good money for your skills and your abilities. Talagang bayad yung bawat oras na binibigay mo sa work. Their social services are also really good if you're really keen lang on researching and really having that yung ano ka lang, you're really bold in applying. Talagang maraming benefits for immigrants to be here in Canada.
You have been in Canada for years. Mm-hmm. From a financial perspective, would you say worth it ang paglipat sa Canada coming from the Philippines? Okay pa din ba ang mag-Canada, mag-migrate sa Canada, mag-work sa Canada?
Actually, Neil, depende yan sa preparedness mo at saka depende yan sa financial goals mo. Moving to Canada can be worth it depending on your own financial goals. So for me, I'll just speak for myself. I feel like moving to Canada is still worth it kasi it gives you the quality of life that you want. It gives you the education and ano pa ba, yung comfort that you want for your family. If you're able to find a really good job, the economic benefits of finding a good job here is really worth it kasi they really pay good money for your skills and your abilities. Talagang bayad yung bawat oras na binibigay mo sa work. Their social services are also really good if you're really keen lang on researching and really having that yung ano ka lang, you're really bold in applying. Talagang maraming benefits for immigrants to be here in Canada. Like for example, in my case, when we moved here, I still had a 3-year-old. So syempre, hindi naman namin kaya yung childcare dito. So makikita mo, even during the early months of moving here, we were able to get subsidies from the government. So makikita mo yung support nila sa'yo, makikita mo na the government really gives us opportunity to really succeed in this land. So it's just a matter of really applying and being bold to really ask for them. Ayun.
Yeah. And at least, no, for those who are watching, wherever they are in the world or sa Pilipinas, at least you can say, based on your context, it's still worth it to go to Canada. Yung syempre, yung next question doon, madali bang pumunta pa din ba sa Canada? Especially, let's say, yung skill nila is hindi yung hinahanap ng Canada. Kasi alam ko, minsan may mga specific skills na kailangan para makapunta ka, or how about wala kang ganung skill set? Would it still be easy?
To be honest, no, in the last few months, medyo naghigpit ng immigration ng Canada. Because I think they've already hit their targets in terms of immigrants. Makikita mo before, they were very open to really just accept international students. Pero ngayon, makikita mo na parang they've already upped their standards na hindi mo na pwedeng dalhin yung pamilya mo not unless you study for your MBA or di kaya mag-medical school ka. Otherwise, you cannot bring your family. Actually, in the recent months, when I graduated, they've actually changed the policies na rin na parang kung yung estudyante, just like me, you don't have a full-time job, you could no longer renew your families. So medyo nagkakaroon na ng different landscape in terms of immigration. So kailangan talaga when you come here, you really have to study your pathways. Bago ka pumunta dito, aaralin mo siya talaga. Ano ba yung mga pathways ko? Hindi na pwede yung pupunta ako dahil gusto ko lang pumunta. 'Di ba? And because people in the past were saying Canada is so open to immigrants. Ngayon hindi na siguro ganon.
Yeah, napaka-importante 'yun, no, yung hindi ka lang basta, sige game Canada tayo kasi based on hearsay or sa mga marites ng mga friends ko or sa mga tita ko madali. Yun pala, nagkaroon na ng change in regulations, policies, and that's really important. Nasabi mo, no, na study the pathways. Meron ka bang tips sa ating mga kababayan na nangangarap mag-ibang bansa, particularly sa Canada? At least, ano yung mga pathway na mas higher chance, that there's a higher chance na makatungtong dyan?
There are actually specific high-skilled pathways na pwede niyong tingnan. So say, for example, if you're in the medical field, that talagang ang laki ng chance niyo maging PR dito. Or they opened another pathway which is for mga caregivers ata. So, yung mga ganon, it's really just a matter of doing your research kasi hindi lahat ng skills at saka trabaho are needed in Canada. So, pag hindi, ang mangyayari sa'yo, magtatrabaho ka ngayon ng kung ano lang yung available. So, what happens is, you really start from the ground. So, a lot of our kababayans are really working there's nothing wrong naman, no? Pero, ang pinakamadaling pasukan talaga are really food services. If you're okay with that, then no problem. You can always come here, tsaka medyo manage na lang your expectation. I actually posted about this a few days ago and sabi ko, ibang-iba yung trabaho sa Pilipinas tsaka dito. Sa Pilipinas, when you say you have a job, you are salaried. Alam mo yung matatanggap mo bawat buwan. Pero dito sa Canada, kahit na sabihin mong may trabaho ka, hindi siya set income eh. Parang it really depends on the hours that the company will give you. So, kung hindi ka madiskarte dito, talagang mahihirapan ka mag-survive because the bills are always set, hindi naman nagbabago yun. And the cost of living are increasing, 'di ba? So, mahirap siya. Those are the things that you need to navigate as you go through your Canadian journey, I feel.
Yeah, it really depends on how much you really want it. Siyempre, hindi naman madali as much as you really want to work. Sabi mo nga, hindi fixed yung makukuha mong salary kasi hindi rin fixed yung number of hours. Yung mga Pinoy ba na nandyan, ano yung ginagawa nila on the side? Kasi syempre, may mga friends ako na nasa ibang bansa na hindi lang isa, hindi lang dalawa, minsan 3 nga yung trabaho. So, ano yung mga nababalitaan mo or mga kakilala mo, ano yung mga trabaho nila na 1, 2, or 3 sidelines nila dyan?
You would be surprised, normal dito yung 2. Pero a lot of them have even 4 to 5 jobs. It's because they don't get the hours with just one job. Say, for example, in the retail company that I used to work for, some of our educators, yung mga salespeople namin, they only get 3 to 5 hours, minsan 10 hours a week. That will not really add up to pay for your bills. So, ang nangyayari, instead of just, staying in one job, they would have multiple jobs. So, nakakapagod yun, di ba? Parang, pagkatapos mo dito, lilipat ka na naman. Minsan, I have friends here who I've talked to, they've been here for more than 10 years or 17 years na nga yung iba. They work 17, 18 hours a day just to make ends meet. So, depende din talaga yan. Depende din talaga sa lifestyle that you have. Depende din talaga sa goals that you have in life. Siguro kasi marami na rin silang mga investments na ginawa. So, mas kailangan nilang mag-work for more hours.
Yeah. Siguro, like ako, curious ako. Kasi for the kababayans who are watching, iisipin nila, bakit nalilimitahan? Bakit 3 hours, 5 hours lang? Is it because marami naghahati ng hours, marami kasing workforce? And siguro next question doon is, how can you ensure na hindi lang 5 hours, 10 hours? Ano yung pwede mong gawin para at least mas maging kumpleto yung hours mo sa company? May mga tips ba sa ganun?
Actually, Neil, wala ka talagang magagawa because in my case, I was full-time permanent. Full-time permanent. I'm supposed to get at least 35 hours. But during the last few months, I was only getting 17 hours. So parang medyo nabigla ako kasi when I was in school, I was getting 35 hours, 37 hours. Tapos biglang lately, nag-cut ng hours yung company. Hindi naman pwedeng hindi bigyan lahat. Sa sobrang dami namin, we have to divide the hours sa lahat ng empleyado para lahat merong hours. So what happened is I only had 17 hours, 15 to 17 hours a week. Not that I need it, pero nababato ako, kailangan ko, well, siguro, ano lang din talaga, medyo manegosyo lang din na talaga ako and I really have financial goals and I would always aim to be able to save and put investment somewhere. So parang, medyo sabi ko, hindi talaga okay to. So I started looking for other venues where I could earn.